Do you think it can be achieved, like in the longer run? I mean, you're also like experimenting on your new product. Just tell us about what you're going through, the process, and limitations, if possible, that you're going through.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic long term. I think overall what we saw, you look at any one individual project that raised tens of millions of dollars last year, and looking back, it looks crazy, right? What were we thinking? Whoever thought that was a good idea, that it would end well. And it's very, very easy to point at any one company and say, clearly they've been overvalued. At the same time, I think while most individual projects were overvalued, I think as a whole, the industry is still dramatically undervalued based on the potential that we have. If we're able to achieve our goals and the visions that many of us in this room share, this has the potential to be incredibly revolutionary and change every aspect of life as we know it. And I think that's what gets us excited. I think the probability of us pulling it off is quite low, and we've got lots of challenges ahead of us. But that's what makes it so fun and so exciting to be working in this space on something that's so audacious and so exciting to be a part of.
So I was just briefly talking about like East meets West and West meets East, like so kind of like a globalization aspect, right? I mean, mass adoption, in order to reach it, you have to have a certain globalized product. And is there, are you working on certain things, or have you worked on certain things, or what's your experience? And just curious, like what region do you think will reach mass adoption first?
At Origin, we've been global from day one. We have employees all over the world, contributors all over the world. About 80% of the traffic to our website is outside of the United States. When we look at Google Analytics, the map is just green. Like the entire world is just green. And that is just so cool to see, just this global movement. As a team, we've made it a priority to translate our website into multiple different languages, and our community has done that. So our website is available in 20 different languages, and that was all done by volunteers from all over the world who just stepped forward and said, I believe in your vision, I want to be a part of this. We've also gone and traveled extensively to different parts of the world. We've started doing virtual meetups now, where maybe cities we wouldn't usually travel to, might not be on the beaten path. Just a virtual meetup in Bucharest. And we come in by video, and there's 100 people in the room excited to learn about what we're doing. And we're doing that in cities all around the world now. I think there's a good chance that the first users we get and then adoption we're going to get is not going to be in the United States. Largely, I agree, financial services are pretty solid here. I think we have an opportunity here to leapfrog traditional banking. We've got 2 billion unbanked on this planet. And there's a good chance that we can leapfrog the traditional financial services, much like cell phones were able to leapfrog landlines. For those 2 billion people, a growing number have a $15 Android phone. And that means that now they have, for the first time in their life, they have a way of sending money around. They can use things like Origin, where they can buy and sell with other people. And so you can be a seller in some emerging market, and you can connect to very wealthy buyers in other parts of the world. And now you're getting that 10x type benefit where you're making 10 times more money than you were otherwise, and people in the United States can be getting it for 10 times cheaper, and everyone wins because you're bringing together markets that have never had a chance to connect before.
Yeah. It seems like globalization is difficult to achieve, but it's a step forward, and I think mass adoption has to be global, and I think Korea can also be a good market too, because it's actually a market where it's very concentrated. The users follow each other very quickly, so maybe it can catch up too. Yeah.
So on Korea, actually, at least one of the things I was thinking about earlier is that it could be a perfect kind of experimental kind of area for a number of these things, because you principally have a very intense consumer adoption in one geographic area, right, and density. So if you want to test out a lot of these ideas, with loyalty network and sort of token incentivization, those sorts of things, it's actually a really great place to kind of test some of those ideas out.
Exactly. So, like as I mentioned before, when I went to a cafe, everyone was talking about Bitcoin, like because everyone hears about somebody else, like your friend or your mother or father, and it just passes along. It's so quickly, and within a month, everyone's talking about Bitcoin, blockchain. So, I mean, even with the user, a good product, I think it can definitely be contagious. Basically, everyone just follows each other. So, yeah, why not? So, it can be a good sample market for sure. Yeah, so last but not least, I just wanted to, ask you about your greatest takeaways from 2018, and if there were any personal or project-wise goals for 2019, could you please share that with us?
I think one of the best things that came out of last year was just the amount of investment in protocol development, cryptography, new consensus algorithms. I think we're going to be feeling the positive results of that for many years to come, just because of the enormous amount of capital, and much of which is still being put to work, and really, really smart engineers who are leaving some of the top companies in Silicon Valley and are starting to work in this space. And so I think we're going to see the results of that for a really long time. I think the focus for 2019 is really going to be around user adoption and how we actually focus on solving real-world problems, going back to the basics of what is a problem, who has that problem, how can we build technology to solve it. And I think we'll be better off if we spend more time coding and talking to users and less time writing white papers.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, Tom, Lily, Josh. I mean, amazing people working on amazing stuff. So please give a well-rounded applause. Thank you. If you have any questions personally, you can ask them after the meetup. Yes. So it's finished, and I would like to thank everyone for coming to Monday night meetup. Thank you so much, and look forward to meeting you again in San Francisco. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
And thanks, Erica.